Hello, I'm Kay from Signpost Coaching Services, and in our leadership vlog today we're going to be exploring one of the key principles of leadership. We're going to be thinking about vision, and we're going to be sharing a tool with you that we've used in a range of organisations to help leaders at all level unpick vision and look at ways to create a vision that not only holds your team together and provides an imperative and a focus, but a vision that genuinely explores why you do what you do and how to keep that vision as the heartbeat of your team, the heartbeat of your organisation, so that each day your vision is there, it's evident in every conversation, in every action and in every activity. And that way you build a very powerful cohesion that drives your organisation forward to achieve your goals. The other benefit of having a really powerful and strong vision is that as we get busier, and particularly in the public sector, in schools and in health, where pressures seem to build and workload seems to increase, having a strong, powerful vision actually reduces workload, because people at whatever level in your organisation are focused on the key things that are important to delivering what you're hoping to achieve. In essence, a few months ago on Twitter, I found a lovely quote that says, vision is about making sure that you keep the main thing as the main thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack a little bit about how the very straightforward and simple arrow could maybe support you to just explore vision again and keep it alive and find a different way of engaging in what is the most powerful driver in terms of moving your teams forward. So, looking at the arrow, it's a relatively simple and straightforward tool to help you to check in with how strong, how clear, and how accurately other people perceive your vision. So, actually articulating a vision is often not the most difficult part of the process. Often the harder part of the process is keeping that vision alive and communicating it and becoming fluent in that language on a day-to-day basis that makes sure that at every layer of your organisation, whether it be a school or whether it's another setting, making sure that day by day whatever's happening is driven by that very clear sense of purpose and is driven in the direction that you're wanting to achieve. And we use the arrow and we use the outside of the arrow to say, if this is your direction of travel, then the clarity and the strength of the line that sits around the arrow is absolutely crucial in terms of keeping everybody on board, keeping everybody facing in the right direction, and increasing your rate of travel. So, in an ideal world, when we're looking at an organisation, what we would expect or hope to see is that we have a very strong living vision that drives the whole organisation forward, and inside it there are other mini arrows which represent individual people, smaller teams, departments, divisions. In school it might be subject areas, and round each of those arrows there is another very clear vision line that links to this broader vision here. Everybody lined up, moving in the same direction, actually helping to cut workload and achieve your goals. However, in reality, there are times when we do work with teams who are actually telling us that they have done some work on vision, but when they've started to unpick it, they've realised that this line, which may have been very clear once, has actually lost focus, lost clarity, and that people within the team are sometimes going in the right direction or in a different direction, And because there is a lack of strength in this border, sometimes people sit outside the arrow. And one of the things that leaders often discuss with us is how to keep that main thing the main thing. And sometimes we become so focused on tasks and activities that we forget this very key imperative of keeping that alive for everybody who might be changing roles in an organisation or new to an organisation or a school. Whatever your leadership role, you can use the blank arrow to just give yourself a little reflection time on one of your own key responsibility areas or priority areas. Just check in with yourself about how strong and how clear you think your vision is. And then look at all the individuals in your organisation and map them on the arrow. Is everybody in your team or everybody who needs to be inside your arrow? Are there some people who are drifting to the back of the arrow that you maybe need in a different position? Are there some people who are in the arrow and they want to be part of moving your school or organisation forward, but they might have lost their way? Are there some people for this particular area who have dropped off and maybe outside the arrow that you need to try and get back in? The whole purpose of this very simple tool is to help you to use it to check. So if you're starting leadership, you're starting with a responsibility, think about what it is that you want as your direction, and then think, right, who is already here? Who's already on board and who's maybe outside? If you've got people who you think maybe are outside your arrow or are maybe not as clear as they might be, then the key imperative is, how clearly can I re-emphasise and reshare and make my vision living? So I hope that you find the arrow useful as a tool, maybe to work with as a leadership team or a department, or maybe just for yourself to check in and say, in terms of my areas of responsibility, is everybody in my arrow? If they're not in your arrow, then maybe one of the things that you could usefully do is just check out how clear your vision is, how readily you share it, and use that as a way of almost like recalibrating your direction for either your school, your organisation, or your particular responsibility. So hope you find it useful.